Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you guys from start to finish how to install a remote start and an alarm. I use the FlashLogic FL CAN and Prestige. All things you can get on Amazon. I'll put the links below. This is the first time kind of attempting any sort of alarm install. Very minimal, multimeter wiring kind of experience, but you can learn a lot from forums and other YouTube videos. So here is the alarm. This is a one-way. Prestige also makes a two-way, but I heard their two-way remote is kind of not good quality. So let's do a little unboxing. FlashLogic and CardLink are compatible with this. Here's the model number. This is about $95 on Amazon. Includes a shock sensor, a siren, and I'll make sure to show you how to install this stuff. And along with other tools and extras you have to get for this install. And here's the brains of the alarm system. There's all the various ports. And I just want to warn you guys, there's lots of prep and manual printing that goes into this. I'll include all the manuals and links below, so hopefully it makes it a lot easier for you guys. Here's all the wiring. A lot of these wirings you won't even need, so don't be intimidated. Here's a shock sensor. There's a little sensitivity knob. This is kind of the thick wiring made to power the unit. Most of these wires you will use the inline fuses. So yeah, just want to make sure you guys cover the points up on the fuses with electrical tape since they're metal contacts. Here's a relay they include for you for like a kill starter. Here's a hood pin. I'd install these two things, but totally there if you need it. I mean, these are 4th gen 4Runners, so not many people are going in to steal the engine parts. Here's the data cable that goes to the valet mode and also has the LED light on it. And that's kind of your antenna. These are all other wirings that you mostly won't need. And here's the FL CAN unit itself. This is the bypass. Makes it so you don't need your key around the car to start it up. Because even with the 4th gen 4Runners, you do need a chipped key in the vicinity to be able to start up your car, but this will bypass it. You also get like the $10, $12 little module that you put a cut key in, but this is a little more safe. You don't have to have a key just hanging around extra in your car. It does require you to flash it, so you also need a data cable for that, which I'll show you in a little bit. So the FL CAN, some extra wiring. Most of the extra wiring is just to wire the siren into under the hood. For my kind of smaller gauge wiring, I did use T-taps, and I did solder the more thick wires, the more important wires, the power wires, accessory wires. And some people like doing the dome lights to turn on. You will need a relay for that. Here's my solder iron I got from Amazon, really cheap. I'll put a link below. You do need a box cutter to kind of carefully slice open the insulation of wiring so you can tap them. And the most important, the multimeter. I got a cheap one off Amazon, 20-30 bucks. Wire strippers. These are little taps you can put on your multimeters to tap wires so you don't have to cut the insulation. It has a little needle in them. And this is an automatic wire splitter. Little things to just kind of uninstall the trim around your car. And here's the shock sensor. Pretty self-explanatory. It's really nice that this kit comes with one. Alright, now on to all the fun stuff. The wiring. There's a few alarm companies out there that gives you all the wiring information. There's the location, ignition switch. I'll circle the ones that you definitely always need. 12-volt constant, starter, ignition 1, ignition 2. And these are accessories. And you also need your brake, which is green yellow, and there's also, and this is from the Prestige. It tells you which wire matches up to the car wires that we just looked at in the previous. So for your starters, yellow from the alarm, and accessories purple, so ignition 1. So you just pretty much match up to the other sheet. So basically you need these 3 manuals, one for your 4Runner, 03 to 06. I'll put the link below. Some of them have NA, so obviously you won't need a wire to connect it to. So basically you connect the car's wire color, white, red, right there, to the matching corresponding wire on the alarm. And I've just printed out 3 versions from different sites to make sure it all can match up, but you also want to use a multimeter to ensure that everything is the right wire, just to verify. And here's your FlashLogic. We'll do this later on in the video. Since it's an older car, you actually don't save much wiring. Here's the 4Runner 03 to 010 using the regular key. Mine's a setup number 2. Not much wiring, but it's basically just a fancy bypass. For the newer year cars, it actually saves you a lot of time. You don't have to do a lot of the brake wiring, the tack wiring, and all this information is on the FlashLogic site. You can see how much time you'll save by buying one of these. I just wanted the bypass and not needing a chipped key just lying in the car somewhere. So here's the first page right here. Kind of just do everything ignition switch. Kind of just focus on one harness at a time. So these are the circles right here that you'll need. So here's 5 wires there, and then here's the brake wire to check. And overall, I mean, this could be an hour or 2 project. Not too bad if you have experience. I didn't. I had to record, so it took a little longer. Here's the next wiring harness. This will be your parking light relay, your siren, and a ground output, so that's a pretty short one. And here's your thick gauge wiring to power up the unit. With that, you will tap these alarm wires into the ignition harness in your car. And I just bundled up the wires I didn't need. Just go back to that list I showed you. We just need these wires right here. Alright, next is the siren setup. This white wire is the parking light relay output. And this is the fuse white and red, which is the parking light relay input. And there's the fuse in. The white black is the siren output. And the pure black is just the ground input. And since your siren needs a ground input also, I just kind of stripped a little spot on the black wire, which is the ground anyways. Alright, then I'm just using some extra wiring that I have laying around. And we're just going to twist it on to that black wire. In this video I'm using brown, but here's the ground for the siren, and the white and black is for the siren positive. So I'm just going to solder it all together. And then I'll use some heat shrink to just make it nice secure. You can also just use electrical tape. And here's the dome light relay wiring. I didn't care for this, but here's the wiring setup. You can just pause and look at it. I'll put a link in the description of a relay from Amazon. You just get a 10-pack for pretty cheap. And this makes it so your dome light goes on when you arm and disarm. I'll show you guys how to set it up, even though I end up not using it. And now we'll go to the FL can. And since, like I told you earlier, this is a pretty old model car. I mean, You don't have too many features that you'll save flashing it. So here's the FlashLogic module. These are universal. You just have to buy a little data cable that you connect to your computer to flash it to your specific year and model. And the black wires right here are the required wires. So basically just 3 wires, one from your key sense and then 2 from your below your key fob. On the other side are dotted lines, which aren't required because you'll use the data cable. So this is a white ground wire right here. You can just tap to any ground wire. There it is, the white ground. And these are your green red for your code, which will go to your 7-pin under your keyhole. And then the gray red, which is your TXCT, which also goes to the 7-pin connector under your key fob hole. So yeah, you don't need too many cables from this FL CAN unit. Here's the pink wire. This is for the ignition positive output. This goes to your remote starter unit. So in this case, the Prestige. And on this side, you won't need anything except the data mode cable. You won't need those since you'll be in data mode, so all those dotted lines you can ignore. So in this process, you do save 3 wires. So now for all the in-car wiring. So this is the larger gauge little bundle right here. You see I'm just taping everything up. You saw how I tapped the wires before. You kind of just use a box cutter to carefully slice the insulation open and then just wrap your corresponding wiring onto the alarm unit. So we're just mashing up right here. This is your accessory, which is white green from your car. And the corresponding wire on the alarm unit is the purple one. And we're just going to check it. So when your vehicle is running or in accessory mode, it should register 12 volts, just like that. But not during engine crank or if the engine is off. So basically you do this with every wire just to make sure. And with the sheet it tells you how to confirm and when you should see the 12 volts. So I'm showing you here how I tap into every wire. So this is the harness from your car alarm, and this purple wire is from my alarm unit. So purple into the white green of my car. And then just twist it around and then we solder. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to do this process for every single wire, but this basically, you know how it works. And this is your parking lights, green wire from your car, which matches the white parking light output from your alarm. Since these are skinnier wires, I do use T-taps. Some people like to solder skinny wires, but I'm just too scared of cutting it. And just so you guys know, usually when you have a car alarm company or like Car Toys do it, they usually just do taps. So I don't think they spend time to solder everything. So I say with the larger gauge, even if you're a beginner, solder those skinnier gauge wires in case you mess up for any reason. Their taps are not as permanent. You can just undo it and put some electrical tape over it. Now onto the siren. I just use a little coat hanger or a fish tape. Mine had an old stereo wire, so I just followed that up to the outside under the hood. Just pulled it straight through. And here's my negative brown wire and my white black positive wire. I'm just going to connect that with the butt connector to the supplied siren unit. Make sure you have the siren facing down so water doesn't collect in it. Just these simple. To the next door trigger wire, the purple yellow from the car. And it's this one right here, right under the steering column. And it'll be purple brown for the car from the alarm unit. I'm going pretty fast, but I'll have all these manuals in the links below so you can kind of slow down the video, pause it if you need. It's kind of hard to record with one hand and try and show you guys. So here's the horn, green, red. Here's the horn here, green, red. And the horn here, output positive, black, white. And here's the module or the harness that you're looking for. It's right there, that one, that gray one on the left bottom. Here's the red door lock from the alarm, and the power lock is the blue one. And I even have pictures for you to help. I'll include these as well. And it's in this harness right here, kind of right below the fuse box on the left side, kick panel. And just tap these with T-taps. Since they're skinnier wires, I didn't want to risk cutting them. But if you feel comfortable, feel free to solder these just like I did with the thicker gauge wires. And this is the optional glass break sensor from DEI I got from Amazon. You do have to tap it into your shock sensor since these three-way cables actually don't fit the Prestige alarms. I think they're only compatible with Viper alarms. But here's under your key fob. This is where, so the 7-pin right there, you have a pink-green wire that you're going to be looking for. And that will tap into your green-red code wire. And then from the car is a TXCT wire, which is a light green and red, which you'll tap into your gray-red wire of your FlashLogic unit. And the key sense, when the key is inserted, that's what means key sense. It's a green-yellow wire from the car, and you'll tap that into a white-black wire from your FlashLogic system. And I use T-taps here as well. And this wire is the black wire. It matches, even though it's technically should be green-yellow. And then from the ignition positive, it's a blue wire from your 8-pin. It's the thick one that we use, thick gauge. And then we'll go to your pink FlashLogic wire. So I just tapped into the thick gauge wire and wrapping it up. Just kind of zip tie. Some people use Tesla wrap, or you can use electrical wire wrap. And there's a little notch up there in our 4Runner that you can put this whole unit in. And you will have to do the installation mode selection. You want to do the data mode. So you just press and release the program mode right here. It'll flash once to confirm data mode. And you actually hold it until it turns solid green to confirm your selection. And then what you do is you go up to your ignition, you put your key in is the first step. You wait for the LED to turn green and red, and it'll turn solid green for 2 seconds. So you remove your key, and that's how you program your key to the FlashLogic. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to put this up in the footwell, and I just zip tied everything up. Here's my little shock sensor you see right there in the green zip tie. You want to make sure it's out of the way of any brake pedals, any steering wheel moving parts. So I give a little slack for everything. We'll clean everything up. And of course, you want to test everything before you do this. I kind of did this part after the fact, after I tested everything. I'll show you the remote working and the remote start working as well. So overall, this is not too bad. Here's the alarm testing, and here's the test mode. And my biggest confusion I had through this whole install was, did I need a tack wire? You don't need a tack wire. You just have to go into your menu option in your alarm system from Prestige and just do it to volt sensing and not tack wire sensing, pretty much. That's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, let me know. No check engine lights, make sure that's all set up. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I know this video is pretty hard to watch or confusing since I'm trying to record it with one hand, but I'll try my best and help you guys out. Thanks.